Good morning, everybody. How are you today? It's good to be here. My name is Joshua, and I am your Smrt Live teacher for English for academic purposes. We have a couple new students, at least, in the class. We have Charlie and Enrique. Charlie is from Africa. Which country are you from in Africa, Charlie? And Enrique is from the Bronx, New York, another USA guy. Hello. But also Enrique's come from Dominican Republic. So the DR, awesome place. I've spent time down in Haiti and seen a little bit of the DR. It's beautiful. Really, really beautiful place. But I'm happy to be your teacher here today. Welcome to Smrt English Live class for academic purposes. This is a high-level class, and it is for students who want to go into university or college in an English-speaking country. Maybe it's the United States, hopefully, because it's an awesome place. But maybe it's Australia, or maybe it's UK or Canada, or any English-speaking country, or maybe it's a university or college in your country which is not an English-speaking country, but which has universities that teach in English. More and more universities across the world, all around the world, are teaching their classes in English. The professors use English, the teachers use English, and all the students in the class use English. So, whatever the case is, hi Zach, hi Sarbajit, hi French Leo, JB, Sway, William, hi from Brazil, here again. Welcome back, William. Good to have you. And Rose is here as well. So, hello everybody. We all come from different situations. I know many of you from being here, many classes, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for showing up every week. You're the reason that I get up and am excited for class. The students that keep showing up. If it's your first class, I hope you like it. This is an interesting one to start for your first class because it is the last part of a story that we've been talking about. It's called The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. I think I'm getting that right now, French Leo. Barat is here. Hello. It's the last part in that series where we're talking about the story, we're analyzing the reading, we are critically thinking about how to ask ourselves questions, answer questions, and perhaps write an academic essay based on it. Today is also going to be the introduction of the first quiz that I've assigned in this class. The quiz is going to be homework, and it's only for premium subscribers. So if you're not a premium subscriber, you can become one. I will show you how. Check this out. This is the Smrt landing page. And I believe I've already taken attendance. Yes, I have. But everybody that's here checked in, if you're not green on this screen here, it means you're not signed in. So let me know, and I can adjust that later. But if you want to become a premium subscriber, just go to smartenglish.com/live/live, and bam, you will have your choice of classes. The wonderful Abby has moved on, so that class is no longer available, but Sean is still teaching his intermediate English class on Fridays, 1700 GMT. And Neil is teaching his class Mondays. Actually, I think that has moved to Tuesdays. Tuesdays at 1530 GMT. And this wonderful class with this dorky guy right here, named Joshua, that's me, 1530 GMT. So your first month is free if you're new, and that's just 35 Canadian per month after that. You can take the English level test right here. I'm going to post this link in the chat. So like I said, if you like the class, sign up. You get a month free, so you can hang out with me for 4 weeks, and then if you don't like me, you can say, hey Josh, kick rocks, I don't care, and take off and do something else. But if you like this, and if you feel like you're learning, which I hope you do, then you can keep going on with us and get more and more feedback. Now, I really want to ramp up what I'm asking of premium subscribers. I've been kind of lax the last few weeks because many of our premium subscribers in this class have been going through finals or evaluations at work, and I've been trying really hard to individualize that the lesson plans for students so that it's not so heavy on the homework side. A little bit of reading, a little bit of studying, a little bit of assignment, but not super, super difficult. But I want to change that. I don't want to make it difficult for you, but I want to give you more opportunity to practice your English outside of class. So, of course, if you have big finals or something going on, I'll work around that, and you can send me an email and say, Josh, I have so much going on, I can't do homework this week, and I'll give you a different assignment. But that's the beauty of being a premium subscriber, is you can kind of work with me individually, and we'll make up a plan that's very, very good for you specifically. Amira Yusuf is here. So happy to be here right now, little heart. We're very happy to have you here right now, so welcome. Sway, waiting your present for 14th July. Not sure what you're talking about, French Leo, but Derry's here. Hello, welcome. Steve is here. Hey, Steve. Zach, amazing teacher. He, very funny. Thank you, though. I appreciate your sentiment. Hajar Sweet. Somebody named Hajar Sweet is here. Maybe. I don't know. Lots of comments in the chat. Thank you for those, by the way. So, a little bit of coffee. I got a normal cup now. The wonderful Amy made this cup. It's so beautiful, so wonderful. Let's get started, yeah? Ali's here as well, and Leah. So welcome, everybody. Like I said, this is the last class in a series where we're talking about The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. We are going to go over the last part. Melvin, one of our premium subscribers, was asking me, or had some good comments about studying The Necklace. So The Necklace is this short story here. Put up just both of these. Guy de Maupassant. And we looked over a biography of this author. We learned a little bit about this author's life in France in the early 19th century, or in the 19th century. And we talked a little bit about the pre-reading questions, like what's going on. Yes, Sway, this is the last class of The Necklace. That's all I'm talking about. Wearing natural flowers, they're very smart this time of year. What is a synonym for the word smart here? Oh, Rosa has a good question. French Lou is talking about 14th July. Do you mean 4th of July? 4th of July is the American holiday, Independence Day, not 14th. You might be talking about something different that I don't know about that's on the 14th of July. But if you're talking about the Independence Day that we celebrate here in America, 4th of July, which is coming up Tuesday. So, really exciting day. Which, by the way, Neil's class might be rescheduled because of the 4th of July. So, maybe not. He still might choose to do it Independence Day. Woo! I'll talk to him, and then we'll send out a message to all of our premium subscribers and let you know. Okay, so to answer some of these questions in the chat. So there's great conversations going on here. Bastille Day. That's right. 14th of July in France. Bastille Day. Right? Am I right? Okay, so 7th of July, the new Spider-Man movie will be released in India, I believe. You're in India? Yeah? Awesome. I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero. Awesome character. So Rosa asks, what does it mean when you say wear natural flowers when they are very smart at this time of year? S-M-A-R-T, smart. Smart is slang to mean sharply dressed, like well dressed, like fashionable would be another way to describe it. which is why it's fun to teach smart English, because smart is an alternative word to use to mean intelligent. It is also something that means like well-dressed, fashionable, good-looking. So a synonym or a word or phrase that you could use to replace the word smart in that sentence: they are very smart at this time of year. They are very fashionable would be good. They are very fashionable this time of year. They look very good on you this time of year. You can rearrange the sentence. You could do some paraphrasing. But hopefully that answers your question. I will be leaving you with a quiz this week, Saul. No homework. This week we will be doing a quiz based on this reading of the necklace. But it's only for premium subscribers because you need access to Smrt. So like I said, if you haven't signed up already, make sure you go and check out sign up now. If you sign up now, you can still take the quiz this week after you read the necklace. So check that out. All right. The Bastille Celebration. I'm right. Okay. Homecoming. Like looking smart. Yes, Zach. Like, oh, you're looking very smart today. Now, that slang is primarily British English. So parts of Canada, Australia. In America, we don't use it as often. Sometimes Americans will use it because it's a little funky, a little foreign, a little exotic, I guess would be a better word, outside of our normal vocabulary. So it's fun to do that. Oftentimes, people will choose a few phrases that are outside the regular vocabulary of a culture. And this could be a culture within America. There's many cultures within America. So there's the Pacific Northwest culture, which I live in. And, you know, people are into outdoor activities and lots of hiking and being outside. And then there's like specific foods that we eat around here and things like that. Specific words and phrases we say. The culture of linguistics, right? So not a lot of people say that here, but you'll hear it once in a while. Smart means elegant. Yeah, elegant could be a synonym. Fashionable, elegant. Sway's talking about catching a big beetle. Okay, awesome, fun, adventurous day. Is the first time I see someone using with flowers. Rose's question. Okay, here's why. You should, if you go back to the sentence, I believe it says something about wear natural flowers. So people will wear flowers like they wear clothes. I might put a flower in my pocket here. You know, as a man, I might choose to pin a flower to my lapel on my jacket or my shirt. So in this regard, the author is using it like they would use clothes or jewelry. It's an adornment, something that you add to yourself to make yourself look beautiful. So they're using flowers in the same way that we would talk about clothes. Because smart is something you would use to describe someone's physical appearance. Maybe their clothes, maybe their haircut. Oh, that's a very smart haircut you have there. It means, we'll use the word sharp in American English a lot. Oh, that's really sharp. You look sharp. And that, to look sharp is to look smart, to look fashionable. So, fun slang stuff there. Prolific writer, yes. Guy de Maupassant was a prolific writer. Prolific is a great academic vocabulary word, by the way. Good job. So Germany, Allah is in Germany, maybe? Allah is asking if anyone's from Germany. Are you in Germany, Allah? French Leo just knows 100 languages, so he's speaking German. In the chats, please English though, French Leo, we've talked about this. And Sway knows a little German too, the word no in German, nein. Okay, let's go ahead and continue the class, yeah? So the short story. We looked over these questions. What type of lifestyle do you think the Losells have at the opening of the story? It's middle class. They're not poor, they're not destitute, but they're not wealthy. Also, the husband is okay. He's happy. He's like, hey, I have my stew. I have some warm stew, and I have a happy life. I work as the Minister of Education, or with the Minister of Education, or something like that. He works in a government job, and he feels comfortable. The wife is sad, though. The wife does not feel... no, Sway, don't scare your wife with a big black beetle. Don't do that. Was it right to scare my wife with a big black beetle? Hey, Sway, let's do class, yeah? Let's study class. Very entertaining, but we want to talk about the necklace. Let's chat about the beetle afterwards, though, yeah? It sounds fun. You guys can jump over and we'll have a chat on Facebook or something. Okay, Sarbajit, thank you for a real question applied to class. Sarbajit says, Josh, should we use Wikipedia for research? It's open for everyone to edit. The simple answer is no. The more complex answer is no and yes. I tell my students very, very openly and honestly, yes, Wikipedia is a great tool, a great resource, and absolutely you can use it to begin to research your topics. Okay, Wikipedia is a good starting point. For instance, let's do a little search together here, and let's just look up the necklace. Oops. There we go. Okay. So here's the book, The Necklace. And what I mean by no, Sarbajit, is you shouldn't reference Wikipedia in your academic essays or presentations. You shouldn't use quotes necessarily from Wikipedia, because you're right. It's an open encyclopedia, free encyclopedia, and anyone can edit it. I could go in and click edit here and change the plot, or change what it says in here. We could delete this and we could just say is a story, right? There we go. I'm not actually going to change Wikipedia right now, but you could, is the point. You could totally change it, and someone would catch it and fix it, hopefully, probably, pretty quickly. But it can be changed. So the information on here you cannot know 100% is accurate because it's editable. But most of the time the information on here has been peer reviewed, and everybody sort of contributes to keep it accurate, to keep it correct. So it's a good place to start because Wikipedia does its own references. So here they reference a book by Edgar Roberts, written in 1991, titled Writing Themes About Literature, 7th edition. Here's an ISBN number. So we can search this ISBN number, and we could order the book. ABE Books. I love ABE Books. Abe Books. This is a great book purchasing website. I encourage you to use it if you want. It's usually the cheapest price on the internet, I've found. Sometimes I'll buy books on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever. But this searches a lot of bookstores, and it searches kind of mom and pop shops too. So that's slang for small businesses, family-owned businesses, which I like. I'm going to get to the rest of your questions in a second, but so let's say you start out with Wikipedia because you want to do research, but then you want to write an academic paper. You could go in and you could buy this book because Wikipedia referenced it, and it was the first reference up here. So we could go in and see what information they're talking about. So a little bit of the history. The story was first published here. That's the first reference. So it highlights which reference it's talking about. So if you read something in Wikipedia, like let's look at themes. One of the themes, because of the pride and obsession with wealth, so this one talks about the theme. Let's say I'm writing about the theme. This is from a website, it looks like, called enotes.com. So then we can go here and study a little bit more. Now this is kind of like, this isn't like Wikipedia, it can't be edited by everybody. But these are like cliff notes. Here's a study guide. So this can lead you to more and more information, is the main idea. So you start with Wikipedia, you reference Wikipedia's sites. Like here's an article from The Guardian. Here is a Edinburgh Evening News. This is talking about a play, makes it to the stage. When people say stage, they're talking about a play. So this is going to be different than the book, something to keep in mind. But look at all this. We found other resources. We could buy a book online. We can go to other websites. Wikipedia is a good place to start. JB has vandalized Wikipedia in the past. Oh, man. Funny, but try to keep the vandalism to a minimum, yeah? But see, there's people like JB out there that are, vandalizing Wikipedia. So if you go to the website shortly after JB goes to the website, then you're getting bad information. But if you go there, just through research, it's more than likely basic information that's true. So I say yes, use Wikipedia. It's a great place to start your research. Okay, don't use it as your only research, please. But you can start there for sure. Okay. It's good to use a few websites for research. Yeah, JB's right. And today, websites are a great tool. Let me show you something else too. If you go to scholar.google.com, I'm going to make that really big. So scholar.google.com. I need to make it a little bigger, I think, for the video here. Scholar.google.com. This is a website, I'll post it in the chat as well. This is a website that allows you to search scholarly articles. So here's a little bit about it. Google Scholar provides a simple way to broadly search for scholarly literature. Scholarly literature is, scholar is someone who studies. A scholar, S-C-H-O-L-A-R, is a person who studies. We are all scholars in this class here. Even you, French Leo. We are all students who are studying often, right? We love learning. That's why we're here. So this allows you to search many disciplines, articles, theses, books, abstracts, court opinions, academic publishers. So here's a pretty safe way to search academic articles. You can sign up for alerts. You can look at citations. There's a lot of good information here. You can create a library. So let's search for the necklace. We'll probably have to be more specific. Oh, I'm going to spell the name incorrectly. I have to make sure I get it right. My French spelling is not great. My American spelling is not perfect. So we search the title and author. Here is the book. Let's see if we can find Understanding Fiction. Okay. The Necklace and Other Short Stories. What else could we search? There's lots of the books. Further Last Words. Let's check this one out. Some further last words on Erie, The Necklace. Harvard Law Review. So I'm not even sure if this applies. Criticism of... So it is cited, but it doesn't look like it applies to any research that I'm interested in right now. Illusion and Reality, a study of descriptive techniques in the works of Guy de Maupassant. So this would be something I'd like to read, I think. And here's the whole book. This is about the author's position in the theoretical pieces. So we can then search this for the necklace. Let's see, it's highlighted all the words here for us. I don't see any reference to the necklace yet, unless I missed it. But here's the idea. We could use this site and then search. Research takes time. It takes a lot of time. And this is one way to do it. You can use Google Scholar, and this will give you more resources that are credible for the most part. We've talked about ensuring that our resources are credible. Maybe that's the next class we should do, how to find credible resources. So we can talk more about this then, how to find good information. But that's where I would start. Start in Wikipedia, go to Google Scholar, do some searching, and hopefully you can find good information. Okay, Muhammad Atif from Pakistan, new listener. Welcome, Muhammad. Thank you, everybody, also for saying hello to Atif. It's really nice that you guys have caught on, and when a new student shows up, we say hello and welcome. That's very, very good. Thank you for doing that. Okay. French Leo, thank you for the compliment. I'm a master. I can now say Maupassant in French well. Thank you. Well, you were my teacher there, so thank you. I appreciate it. Atif's native language is Punjabi. Awesome. Very cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Thashara Amma. That's the first time I've seen your name pop up. Oh, nope. You had commented earlier too. Hello, though, and welcome. All right, so the story has a lot of difficult words in terms of meaning and pronunciation. Yes, that's true, Rosa. Melvin had asked me to go over some of the words in the second paragraph. So that's what we're going to start with today, once we actually go into the story. Today we're going to start with vocabulary in this second paragraph. So I'm going to read the paragraph for you, and then I'd like you to choose words and tell me in the chat. Yardelin, hello, how are you? Choose words in the chat and... choose words from the story and then put them in the chat, and we will define them. We'll talk about them. We'll chat about them. So I'm just going to read this whole thing for you. She suffered endlessly, feeling herself born for every delicacy and luxury. She suffered from the poorness of her house, from its mean walls, worn chairs, and ugly curtains. All these things, of which other women of her class would not even have been aware, tormented and insulted her. The sight of the little Brighton girl who came to do the work in her little house aroused heartbroken regrets and hopeless dreams in her mind. She imagined silent antechambers, heavy with oriental tapestries, lit by torches in lofty bronze sockets, with 2 tall footmen in knee breeches sleeping in large armchairs, overcome by the heavy warmth of the stove. She imagined vast saloons hung with antique silks, exquisite pieces of furniture supporting priceless ornaments, and small, charming, perfumed rooms, created just for little parties of intimate friends, men who were famous and sought after, whose homage roused every other woman's envious longings. So, this whole paragraph is basically her daydreaming. She's going, I think of all these wealthy things, all of these elegant things, all of these beautiful things. That's what she's talking about. Sarbajit asks, he says he wants to go to the USA. Should I learn French or Spanish next? In my part of the United States, more people speak Spanish than French. I like French. It's a great language. That's the one I studied in school. My recommendation, though, if you want to travel through the United States, learn Spanish. It's more common. Okay, so aroused. Yardlin asks, aroused is a word right here. Aroused, heartbroken, regrets. So aroused is a verb. It's a past participle here. And it is, rouse is similar to the word rise. And arise is something that comes to be. Oh, sorry about that. My phone just dinged. I'll turn that off. Rise is to move upward, right? And arise we use in English to mean something happened, or something happened from out of nowhere, right? A situation arose, we would say. I can't think of another example, honestly, off the top of my head right now, but aroused is a word we use to mean excite, to excite. So arouse, heartbroken, regrets. Sometimes the word is used in English to mean excite sexually, but in this sentence, that's not the meaning. In this sentence, it is to produce, to create, to have something exist out of nothing. So there's nothing, and then all of a sudden something. And it's a feeling. And that feeling is heartbroken regrets and hopeless dreams. So it's creative language, of course. Guy de Maupassant was a talented writer. And this author is using creative language here, of course, right? But it's saying it created inside of her a feeling of sadness and despair and hopelessness. Hopeless dreams that will never become reality, right? So it's a very sad paragraph. And so you might even feel bad for her in the beginning. By the end of the story, you're probably going to feel, you're not going to feel bad for her, I don't think. Because you realize that her own desire to live in this fancy world kind of ruins her life, and it's her own fault. So I don't feel sadness for the wife's character in this story. I feel like she's kind of a whiner and a complainer and not that nice to her husband, who just kind of wants to take care of her. The husband sells his hunting, or the money he was going to use to buy a hunting rifle. He's like, no, sweetheart, I'm going to buy you a dress so that you can go to this fancy party. Well, first he says, I got you an invitation to this fancy party. And then she's like, what? Why did you do that? Oh my gosh, I'm so upset. I'm never going to be able to go to this party because everybody's going to be fancy and I'm not. And then he says, whoa, calm down. We'll buy you a dress. I will use the money I was saving for this hunting rifle. And I don't need that. That's fine. I'll buy you your dress so you can look pretty. And she's like, what? I'm not going to have any jewelry. I have to be fancy. And he's like, hey, calm down. Just borrow one from your friend. Borrow a necklace from your friend. Not a big deal. And the guy is happy. I mean, he's eating his stew. Or what is he eating? He's eating Scotch broth, which is like a stew, like a soup. And he's like, I'm so happy. What could be better? And she's just complaining the whole time. In her mind, she's so sad because she's not a little bit more wealthy. So really, in the end of the story, this is my own interpretation, but I think she's just kind of whiny and annoying, and she can't be happy where she is. She wants something more, and it ruins her. You see in the end, if you finish the story, that she becomes worse off than she was. She wants to be wealthier, and she loses this necklace, and then, the story goes on and on. I don't want to give it all away because I want you to read it. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Arose is a past tense of arise, come up, yes. Arose, but this is aroused. It's a little bit different. How can I read like native speakers? We have some tips in previous classes about reading skills, but strategies that you can use here to read like native speakers is one, keep reading. No matter what, even if you don't like reading or you don't enjoy it, try to find articles that interest you, try to find subjects that interest you at first, and read for fun. You have to learn to read for fun before you can make it entertaining when it's for studies, for academics. So do that, build up your vocabulary, keep a vocabulary log. Actually, you know what? I'm trying a new thing in developing this curricula, and I'd love for my premium subscriber students to test it out for me. I'm going to share a document with you after class that calculates how many words you learn per week. It's pretty simple, actually, but I want you to try to practice using it, so you do have a little bit of homework this week. In addition to the quiz, I'd like you to try using this new document I've made, which will help you create your own study guide for learning new vocabulary every week. So remind me about that if I forget, but I want to have you guys test it out for me. You can be my beta testers, okay? So Leo, Rosa says, Leo, the husband wanted to buy a gun. I think he wanted to shoot the sheriff. Rosa, why do you encourage him? Why? Don't encourage French, Leo. Ongoing joke. It's an ongoing joke. Can we read aloud, Josh? Yes. Okay, so here's something really important for all of you, I think, as advice that I can give you. Read aloud. It is so important if you are an English language learner to read aloud. It's important that you hear yourself read. Now, this seems a little bit strange, but I promise you it will improve your English if you read out loud. Why does this work? So many of my students over the years, in the last 8 years, I have taught students in the classroom, and it is amazing how often students will write and make mistakes, but when they read over it, they will use the correct grammar. They will use the correct word, even if they, use spell check and the word switched over. They'll use the word that they intended when they speak, or sometimes vice versa. There's different learning struggles, right? Each of us have our own independent learning struggles, but for one reason or another, if you read out loud, if you hear yourself speaking the words, it will improve your reading ability. It will also, I believe, improve your writing ability. It's important to do. So, you can do it at home. If you have privacy, you can just read out loud super loudly and say, "Oh, she suffered endlessly, feeling herself born for every..." You can try to act it out, whatever you want to do. Or if you're on a bus or in a cafe, just read quietly to yourself. As long as you can hear yourself, you're good. So if you want to read there and say, "She endlessly suffered, feeling herself born for every delicacy." Some people feel embarrassed to do that, or they don't want to. They just don't want to. But you should. It's a good way to practice. If you have someone that you can read to, like Sway, read to your wife. When you're done chasing her around with a beetle, say, "I'm sorry, sweetheart, I love you, and I want to make it up to you, so let me read you this story. Let me entertain you." Find a friend, read to a friend. If you don't have anyone in this world that you can read to, schedule a time with me, and you can read to me. Skype in, and I'll listen to your pronunciation, and you can practice, okay? So yes, reading aloud is very important. Okay, French Leo asks, antechamber. So antechamber in French is a little kind of room, the entrance of a house, not much used nowadays. It's not used very commonly. We use the same word in English. We just stole it from the French. We steal a lot of vocabulary from the French, actually. Thank you for that. It's the same meaning. It's a small room that is the entryway into another room. So this could be the front of a house, at the back of a house. Sometimes in a business or in the medical field, there's an antechamber, and it's a place where you kind of clean up and sanitize before you go into a sterile environment. We'll use it that way also. Okay. So the male character in this, the husband, is generous. He's putting his wife's desires before his own. JB thinks that she is ignorant and deluded. Maybe a little bit. That's not a stretch. Maybe not ignorant. It's not the word I would use. I would say inconsolable, or bitter. She's bitter. She's not happy with her station in life, her lot, her luck, whatever you want to call it. We are born into different social classes, and we're born into different, and we're like, our society produces that too. It's not anybody's fault that they either have a bunch of money or no money. Well, I can't generalize that much, but many people have, like, here's an example. So I went to public school here in the United States, and some students I went to school with, their families had a ton of money. They had multiple cars and boats and big houses. And then my family did not have a lot of money. We had a small house and, food and garden, but we weren't wealthy at all. But we weren't poor either. We were not destitute. And then I went to school with students that were destitute, that sometimes didn't have electricity, that, had big problems in their life. And we all went to the same school. And some of the rich students were kind of mean and not very nice. Not all of them, but some. And when I grew up, I realized it's not their fault. Like, they didn't choose to be born to those parents. And that's all they've known. So they may not have all the knowledge to know to be kind to people. They have to learn that. So I just tried to be nice to them and teach them what I could. And the same thing for students that had less money. It's not their fault. They were put in that situation, right? And so that this woman, this character, doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand. She thinks that she deserves more, and she doesn't realize that she could be happy with less. There's a whole bunch of philosophy in here, and there's a whole bunch of perspective we could take. But the idea is, she wants more, and nothing will stop that hunger inside her, right? And it's not a good hunger. It's a hunger that kind of is gnawing at her, chewing at her. And she's doing everything she can to overcome that. Bharat asked Josh, does arouse mean encouraging? No, it means creating. Like, arouse means something that is becoming bigger. Imagine blowing up a balloon, right? That balloon, it starts out as just a little piece of rubber, a piece of latex, and then you blow it up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's kind of the idea, but it's a feeling inside of her. All right, more comments. Rosa doesn't understand her way of thinking. The woman, the wife, she wasn't rich before her marriage, but she kept complaining about her husband's socioeconomic class. I think she had to stay single until she found a rich man. Yeah, but is that really why we should marry? For money? Rosa's, of course, kind of joking around there a little bit. And Sway agrees. I'm not good at writing, but I'm good at reading. Good, Yerlin. Or Yerldin. Am I saying that correctly? Yerldin. It's good if you feel like you're good at reading or writing, but if you're good at one of them, you can be good at both. I promise you. If you're a good reader, you can become a good writer. If you're a good writer, you can become a good reader. Those two things are very connected. So keep at it. You will become better, I promise. Sarbajit says, whenever I try to read aloud, I cannot understand the main topic. I read like a machine. Okay, take more pauses, Sarbajit. Read 1 or 2 sentences and then stop and think about the meaning. And then read a couple more and stop and think about the meaning. See if that helps. Okay. Read into a mirror. You can do that. You can also record yourself. Use your smartphones. Use your cell phones. And because most of you have them or you have a laptop, record yourself and then watch it later and listen to your pronunciation. Maybe you get the words right. Maybe you get them wrong. That will help you as well. Okay. Awesome. Rose is familiar with a similar school situation as me. You went to public school as well. The wealthy and the poor go to the same school. Can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. But generally a good thing. Everybody should go through the same education, I believe. As long as the education is strong, hopefully. When I describe her as ignorant, I was basing it on myself. You were kind of Matilda back then, kind of. Interesting, JB. That would be an interesting essay to write, comparing this character to your own life experiences. I would love to read that essay. I think that would be really cool. If you want to write it, please do, and I will be happy to read it. If any of you want to write an essay similarly, choose a character from this story and compare that character to yourself and your own life experience. That would be super interesting. It's a great idea. Jolie is Sway's wife. This is a nice mix of personal comments and comments applied to the story here. Let's see. Oh my gosh, they're very entertaining discussion. Maybe we can continue some of this after class. She suffered endlessly. Thrusha, thank you for the quote here. So from the story, she suffered endlessly, feeling herself. In this sentence, I cannot understand the use of the comma. She suffered endlessly, comma, feeling herself born for every delicacy and luxury. So, this is... So feeling here in this sentence is an adjective that's introducing a clause that is a non-defining adjective clause, really. She suffered endlessly, feeling that she was born for every delicacy and luxury. It's sort of the comma at the end of this sentence here, or this clause. Independent clause. She suffered endlessly. Period. We could put a period there, full stop, and that would be an independent clause. We have subject, verb, and then an adverbial modifier. But we tag on this adjective clause, feeling herself born for every delicacy and luxury, to define more closely this clause here. Whenever you see a comma at the end of an independent clause, and after that comma is an adjective clause, it is referring to the entirety of the clause before. So I should go this way, actually. The entirety of the clause before. So this one here, she suffered endlessly, feeling herself born for every delicacy and luxury. That feeling herself born for every delicacy and luxury is defining more closely this clause. I'll give you another example sentence. I cried, feeling so sad about the rain on my birthday. Okay? So, I cried, period, full stop. That is a complete idea. It's subject and verb. The basic elements of an independent clause in English. I cried. But if you want to know more information, I could make other sentences and tell you more, or I could just put a defining adjective clause on the end of that to describe the independent clause, the original one. So I cried, feeling so sad that it rained on my birthday. That is an explanation of the clause before. So hopefully that helps explain why this comma is here. Great question, great prompt to talk about. I've recorded myself and outstanding results came. I need to practice more. Good job, French Leo. Sway says, Joshi, it's Jolie. Oh, hello. You're here as well? Hi. Rosa says, hi, Jolie. And a bunch of kissy faces. You mean adjective clause, you can add information about the independent sentence before if it's on the end of the sentence. And this is a most of the time thing. As always, there's exceptions in the English language. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit more. We don't have much time. So let's just talk about how the story progresses. So, what happens next? Let me stretch out here. What happens next is they go to the party. They borrow a necklace from the friend. I actually forget the character's name. It's an old friend of Matilda's, and she borrows a necklace, and so here's her at the party. She dances madly, ecstatically, drunk with pleasure and no thought of anything, in the triumph of her beauty and the pride of her success, in a cloud of happiness made up of this universal homage to and admiration of the desires she had aroused, of the completeness of a victory so dear to her feminine heart. This whole paragraph is basically saying she was super happy because she was getting to live a party lifestyle that she always wanted, right? All of a sudden, she is living it up. She's living like Beyonce, just rocking and rolling at this party, right? And then she leaves at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, big night of partying. And so she gets a cab. She takes the cab home. He's like, hey, we get out. They walk down towards the river. This is a river in France. Desperate and shivering. They found a carriage. It brought them home. She was getting undressed, and then she realizes, oh, the necklace is gone. I've no longer got Madame Forster's necklace. Big mistake, right? Because she borrowed this super fancy diamond necklace from her friend. They search her dress. They didn't remember the number on the cab, which would be an Uber in today's world. They're like, oh, did you have the Uber phone number? No, I didn't. I called it from somebody else's phone. I don't know. So they go to the police station. They offered a reward. They just searched and searched and searched. They couldn't find it. So basically what happens is they take the box to a jeweler, and he says, I didn't sell her this necklace. I must have just given her the clasp, which is the little piece that connects it. They went to jeweler after jeweler. Then they saw a string of diamonds which looked a lot like it, and it was $40,000 or francs, 40,000 francs, a lot of money. They begged the jeweler not to sell it, so they got a loan. They borrowed a bunch of money, and they sold a bunch of stuff. Basically, they went into huge debt, and then she has to pay this back. She gets extra work. They move into a smaller house. They change their flat. Flat is slang for place where you live. Apartment is what we'd say in English, American English. They knew the heavy work of the house. She takes the dustbin down the street. She carries up water. She's doing all this stuff that is harder work than she did before. The husband starts working evenings, and he's just doing laborious, really heavy work, trying to earn this money to help pay for this necklace that she lost. And then all of a sudden, after 10 years, everything was paid off. It took them 10 years to pay off this debt. And she looked really old, the wife, Madame Lucelle. So she went for a walk to feel better, and she bumped into her old friend, Mrs. Madame Forster, and she says, "Oh, good morning," and she doesn't recognize her. She's like, "I don't know you. Who are you?" And she says, "Oh, it's me. It's Madame Lucelle." And she says, "Oh my gosh, wow, you've changed. Time was not good to you. Oh my gosh." Someone who works very, very hard, doesn't sleep well. As you get older, you don't get enough rest. It's not going to look good, right? So she says, "Oh my gosh, you look terrible," basically. And she says, "Oh, I've had some hard times since I saw you." And she says, "Why?" And she says, "Well, remember the diamond necklace that you let me borrow? Well, I lost it." And she says, "Why, you brought it back to me. What's the big deal?" And so she says, I bought you one just like it. So 10 years ago, I lost it and I replaced it, and then I gave it back to you." And she says, "It wasn't easy. We had no money. We had to get all these extra jobs." And she says, "You bought a diamond necklace to replace mine?" She says, "Yeah, you hadn't noticed? They were very much alike." So she was kind of like happy. She's like, "Oh, you didn't even notice that I replaced it. That's good." And she goes, "Oh my gosh. Wow. Mine was fake. It was imitation." You see this word here, imitation, not real. It was worth maybe 500 francs. So that's the end of the story. What happens is she worked for 10 years working hard work to pay for this really expensive diamond necklace that she already gave back to her friend to pay off the debt. And then she realizes after that 10 years of work of living in a lesser home, like she moved into a poorer place, and that whole time she was working to pay off a necklace, a real necklace, that was replacing a fake one that was just made of glass, that was like no big deal. This means if she had simply gone to her friend, her wealthy friend, and said, "Oh, hey, I lost your necklace. I'm really sorry. I'll pay it back, I promise." Her friend would have been like, "Oh, it was like 500 francs, not a big deal. It was cheap necklace. It was an imitation." Not only does it mean that, but it also means that she felt like she was the most elegant person in the world, that she was the wealthiest person in the world, and the whole time at that party, when she felt that way, she was wearing a fake necklace, which she could have afforded. She could have bought on her own. So the actual dollar amount, the price of her happiness was the idea of happiness, the idea of wealth. It didn't have to be actual wealth, and it wasn't actual wealth. She felt really powerful in that fake necklace. So much so that she didn't even question whether it was fake. She just tried to replace it with a diamond one that was real. So it's a really entertaining story. I like this story a lot because I kind of think she gets what she deserves. She worked really hard for 10 years because she was so delusional. Someone used the word delusional in the chat earlier. That she deserved more. She had to be this princess, this queen, and she could have been happy the whole time. In fact, she made her situation much worse because she wasn't willing to just be happy on her own or buy a fake necklace and pretend that it was real anyway. She could have done that. Okay. So let's see. Let's go over the chat. We'll have a final discussion, and then I will give you guys instructions on how to do the quiz. Okay. So, imitation necklace, yep. It was just a copy. If I were her, I would have a heart attack, Rosa says. Yeah, that would be scary, right? Time and beauty, because she bought a diamond necklace. Luxury doesn't necessarily buy happiness, JB. Good sentence, good vocabulary. When you are rich, you have nothing because you have nothing to lose. Interesting philosophical statement there, French Leo. It's all abstract. Azang, why was today's class boring? Did somebody feel it was boring? I can try to spice it up. Maybe I'll wear a costume, top hat or something. I don't know. It's a Buddha quote. I like your Buddha quote there, French Leo. Buddhist, maybe. I don't know. Buddha. Exactly, Leo. Sometimes money makes us feel scared. So the story was about a woman who was poor and unhealthy and sad. 10 years later, she made lots of money. Working 10 years, she was rich. Sway, I don't know that that's the takeaway. We would hope that that Madame Forrester would give Matilda the necklace back, right? So yeah, she might have wound up wealthy. That's an interesting take. But was it worth those 10 years, right? She's 10 years older. She already looks really old and hard-worked. So she's still in a worse position than she was. Now she has this money, but do you think she appreciates it the same way she would have back then? Like, she would have been super happy if she had all that money 10 years ago. Now, after working so hard and realizing that it was for no reason at all, really, do you think it was worth it? I don't know. I would say no. But I could be wrong. Challenge it. It'd be an interesting essay to write. Okay, Rosa says she found today's class very interesting. Thank you. You learn not to borrow anything. That's an interesting takeaway too. Miriam says that is the law of life, and usually law doesn't protect fools. Bad for her. I like that. Okay, Henrique asks, are you on Instagram? I'm not sure who the you is in that sentence. Sway says, nope, not me. All right, talking about social media, if we're not friends already, here is my Facebook profile. You can request me. We can be friends. This is me. I try to post about school, or if I go fishing. This is my lovely girlfriend, Amy. We went fishing the other day. It was fun. Me donating blood. I'm okay. I'm not in the hospital. It's a volunteer thing. I get lots of comments on there like, oh, are you okay, teacher? Are you in the hospital? No, it's to donate blood to help people that are injured or sick. It's something I like to do. So it says, there's a beetle on my shirt. Haha, not falling for that one. Lots of cool stuff. I'll try to, just post stuff here once in a while. It's just my personal page. But you can add me. We can be friends. Here is your homework for premium subscribers. So I want you guys to to take the quiz. So if you're a premium subscriber, log into Smart English, go to Unit 1, which has the necklace, and then go to 1-6 quiz. 1-6 quiz, this is the page here. Actually, you might not have access. I think I have to assign it. I do. I have to assign the quiz to you. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to share the quiz with you. There's a... Oh, it's not there. I will find it. I will find the necklace quiz. I think it's in a different unit, actually, maybe later on. Let's see. I'll track it down for you. I will find the necklace quiz. And I'll share it with you, and I want you to complete it before next week. Also, if you're interested, I would like you to... awesome, Azrang is going to maybe become a premium subscriber. Awesome, I hope you do. Here, once again, is the link. Please sign up. You could take the quiz, you could take the placement test, and we could get you going. That'd be awesome. So sign up there, and you can take the short story quiz on the necklace. But you need to read it too. So please read the story. Here's the story. I'll give you access to the Google file there. If it doesn't work, send me an email. You could also listen to it. There's audiobooks available online. I think you can go to YouTube and just search. You should be able to find an audio book. Search for the unabridged. I don't think there would be an abridged version of the short story, but you never know. It might be just some guy like me paraphrasing it, right? So there's this guy, and he's having dinner, and his wife comes home, and she hates the dinner, and she's complaining, and she's like, life sucks. That's not the original. The original starts out as Guy de Maupassant wrote it. She was one of those pretty and charming girls. So read the story, finish the story, think about it. If you're up for it, go ahead and write the essay that I talked about earlier. If you're not up for that, please at least take the quiz, see how you do. We can email back and forth or hang out or Skype or Facebook message or whatever and talk about your results if you want after you take the quiz. I'll send you some text comments, but I'm happy to do that as well. We've gone over a little bit today. Great class. I'm really glad everybody was here. Many of you are asking for more APA. Next week, I think we'll go over APA and some strategies. I'm not quite sure. The next couple weeks, we will definitely talk about APA. I'll work it into our lessons. I'll plan out a few. And if you have any ideas or input, feel free to email me. Email me, email Zach. You can reach Zach at Smrt, SMRTENGLISH, English.com. My email is joshua.live@smartenglish.com. Both of those are in the chat. I think since everybody is asking for APA next week, all right, let's do APA. Let's do APA next week, and then we'll kind of mix it up. Maybe I'll do it a few times over the next few weeks. Maybe we'll do two classes on APA, and I'll try to work in other topics during those classes. So we'll do basic APA. We'll talk about citations, reference pages, how to change the font in your Google Docs. And then I also think I want to talk about how to find credible sources. So I think those topics overlap. I think that we can discuss both of them in class. So let's do a 2-part series on APA, and then if you have other ideas, let me know. I'd like to plan out classes for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So please do send your suggestions to me in an email or Facebook message. Either one's okay. Like I said, I'll accept your request and we can be friends, and you can keep up with my crazy adventures or watch silly videos about pufferfish that I post. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, rest of the day, weekend, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Keep practicing English, and I will see you all next week. 15:30 GMT. All right. Have a great day. I will miss you all. I will see you next time. Here's a few words from Sean.
Hi everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.